Welcome to 247 Real Talk. I'm your host, Julian Perry, here with you once again for another episode of the 247 Real Talk podcast. Thank you so much for joining me again for another episode. I hope you had a great week. Mine has been challenging. I'm going to tell you a little bit, as I usually do, about it. And we're also going to talk about when we face impossible challenges in our life and how the impossible can become possible with faith and belief. We are living in a time that is a struggle for all of us. And so I think these conversations that uplift, at least for those of us who believe in who we are and know whose we are, I think we help each other, which is exactly what we were intended to do. So sit back, relax, and I'll be right back. All right, so I'm back. I'm not going to make it a long one. It is Thursday, September 25th. If I seem a bit exhausted, I am. There's a lot going on in my life, a lot of challenges. Starting off with, the weight that's on me as I consider tomorrow I'm going to go to pay final respects to that dear friend I told you who passed away of a heart attack suddenly. His body's been brought back to New York, and I guess his family has traveled from around the world. And now it's time to actually do the formal goodbye. That has been a challenge. And then work has been a challenge. And I'm going to start off with, I always tell you that I have a major blessing in my life, my pastor Patrick O'Connor. And each day he sends out inspirational verses and prayers for us. And as I was contemplating what, again, like I do every week, what I was going to talk about this week, he sent me this morning. And it said, my finger hit the phone and it scrolled down, so bear with me for a second. It says, when you walk with Jesus, the impossible becomes possible. When you walk with Jesus, the impossible becomes possible. Means a lot to me to know that with what's going on in the world today, I don't have to fight this battle alone. For those of us who believe, and for those of us who have seen the miracles in our lives, we know it to be true regardless of the naysayers. I've mentioned to you all that I'm scheduled to have surgery on my knee. My second surgery for a total knee replacement of now the left knee on October 7th. Once I have the surgery and I rest up for about a week, there's 12 to 18 months recovery. But most of what I do in my job, all of what I do in my job requires me to attend meetings and to be in front of computers. So my job allows something called a reasonable accommodation, where if your supervisor agrees, which in my case is true, I can be in front of a computer and I can work and I have my own equipment, then it's okay for me to work from home while I recover. For any of you who have been through total knee replacement, the reason it gets so much coverage and so much conversation is because even though it's not heart surgery, it's a major surgery. They're basically separating, I think I mentioned this to you before, the bottom of your leg from the top part, grinding off the bad part of the top of your knee and the bottom, putting in the metal and titanium or whatever it is in the top part, putting a flat piece with different membranes and a bolt down into the bottom part of your foot, putting them back together, manipulating them to make sure everything moves smoothly, stitching it back up, which meant when they cut it, they cut through the nerves, the tendons, everything, and then you have to heal. It was not easy going through the first one emotionally, mentally, but I had the support of so many people, including all of you. I mentioned to you that in March of this year, there's a supervisor, higher level, 3 levels up above me, that came aboard. And for some reason, her inherent personality, along with all the staff that's been targeted by her supervisor, who was previously ours, but who seems to have managed to deflect the blame off himself or the people who supported him onto us, and because of the size of my jurisdiction onto me, I have not had an easy time, even though I've been doing my darnest and my best. What's being asked of me is almost humanly impossible, yet I try to rise to the occasion. Just yesterday, I got a second approval, or the approval for this time for another 6 months, as I now go for surgery for my left knee. And although it was approved, I sit here tonight heart heavy, because my supervisors, my immediate supervisors who understand and who follow the protocol, are apparently in big trouble now with the new boss, who just for some reason does not like me. Not me alone, there's a few of us, but because of my jurisdiction, the targeting of me is relentless. With the information that comes down to me, not in writing, but verbally, and it still has the same effect, is always a threat. Threatening your job, threatening your ability, threatening, calling about your competency. With them not even understanding the whole playing field of what's going on or what's involved. It's like, get it done no matter what. They don't know what it takes. They don't know the subject matter. But they feel that we're all a bunch of incompetent people. Over 800 people, we're all incompetent. And I feel like this meeting that has been called tomorrow, that apparently I'm the subject of, is to discuss the fact of me having to be out to do surgery. What does that mean? It means one or two things, on the surface at least. Or maybe one of three things, or a few things. One, I have to cancel my surgery and live in pain, because I need my job to take care of my family. Two, I retire early, and I lose so much of my pension I've worked for because of early retirement that I'm not sure how I would take care of my family. Or three, figure out how to go to work and not be able to walk, and just deal with it for the next 4 years, where I can't do anything with my family, where the result may cost me my health and who knows whatever, because someone has got so much hatred in their heart that the goodness can't rise. And I believe that everybody has goodness, because we're all created by the Almighty. So what have I chosen? I have chosen option number 4. I believe in the goodness of God. This might not even be a podcast episode. This might be more of a testimony. Here I am facing a horrible situation. One of the many people who's facing that, but one that can cause me pain and suffering. Here I am on the eve of saying goodbye to my dear friend and brother. Here I am, having lost another dear friend of 30-something years a week before this friend passed. And that was 2 months before another friend passed. It's been a lot. And I still live in the same world that you live in, with all the other environmental things, I'll call them environmental things, political, whatever going on in the world. Same struggles. Same challenges we wake up every day with. How? What happens next? What happens to our kids? What happens to those of us who are subjected to or could be subjected to unfair practices or just attitudes of people because of the color of our skin or gender or race or sexual orientation, whatever the case may be? I think the worst part of feeling the way I do is universal, and that is when you're in a situation where you're doing all you can and something unrighteous is happening to you and you're not in a position to fight back. You don't know how. I mean, it's odd because my father said to me, all of this I'm hearing, all of this is not right. Isn't there anyone you can reach out to? Well, people in high places protect people in high places. It's a helpless feeling. But God. I go back to how I started this conversation. When you walk with Jesus, the impossible becomes possible. I'm staring down an impossible set of circumstances. But they will become possible. Somehow, some way. Because I'm not running around now trying to do anything. I've done all I can do. Many of you will know that song from Donnie McClurkin that says, when you've done all you can do, you just stand. I think if many people that used to tune into this podcast maybe missed a few episodes or a few months and they tune in now, they would wonder if they're listening to the same podcast. But yes, I have tailored my give back, my pay it forward to helping people who may be sitting on the other end of this camera right now experiencing the same. I can't be the only one. We're a world of how many billion people? So for those of you who are in hopeless situations, similar to mine, completely different from mine, but in the similar position, the similar challenge, the similar feeling, when you walk with Jesus, nothing is impossible. I have no clue how this ends. I have no clue what next week's episode will be like. We've got so many people in the world that look to do good, and yet we live in a time where people who look to do bad and inflict pain seem to be in positions of power and reigning over everyone else. And if we didn't look deep enough, and if we don't have that spiritual connection enough to understand that the word of our Creator stands no matter what, we almost get the feeling like they're winning. Many things have crossed my mind, many directions to turn, many ways to find a way to fight back. Apart from the fact that after 34, going on 35 years in the job, giving my all, having so many accolades, and so many people saying thank you, and using my positions as I've risen to help others, I don't have that kind of fight for me, not for that cause. The fight I have left in me is the one I have in front of you right now, uplifting people, helping people in need, trying to figure out how collectively to give assistance to people who feel like they have no way to turn. To give that person hope who feels hopeless. It is sort of embarrassing for me to sit here and almost represent both sides of the camera. But I'm human. And what I'm going through is real. Many of you reach out to me every week and give me a word of boosting, a word of confidence, a word of support. And I am so thankful and so appreciative of each and every one of you. But I also believe that we are not helpless if we have our belief and our faith. It is a weapon that's more powerful than any other human being that we know that we can call to say, can you do something for me? Can you help me? When you walk with Jesus, the impossible becomes possible. I don't know what my impossible, turning possible story is yet. But when I do, I will share it with you. I want you to take that with you this week. As you go forth and face your challenges, to my friends who will join me tomorrow in saying goodbye, to the family, to all those people who have felt the pain of losing such a wonderful person and feels like now everything in their life has become difficult and something's impossible. Remember, when you walk with Jesus, the impossible becomes possible. I know to many people, someone would say, well, if that's the case, then bring him back. There is God's will. There is a recognition that while we all live the best lives we can, to hope we're here the longest for our families and friends and to live this gift of life, that we actually have zero control over tomorrow. And here's a woman who's planning a meeting tomorrow to discuss the fact that I'm having a major surgery and someone decided to sign off on a reasonable accommodation. And let me go a little further and explain to you before I go off what that means in my world. When I had my previous surgery, I had it on a Tuesdays. This surgeon does his surgeries on Tuesdays. I took Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, and I was back to work on Monday with my leg propped up, bandaged up, with a machine to dry out the sutures, in pain, drinking pain meds every 3.5 hours, because it's every 4 hours, but you do 3.5, so as the pain increases, you give it that half an hour for the meds to kick in. I was back in front of the computer. I didn't miss a beat. This person who was now chastising me and trying to destroy me, mainly because I've stood up before the previous management because of their vulgarity and abuse towards me and others. Maybe. But this person now is inflicting pain on me, using their position and power that while they feel they earned is actually a gift from God. I wish this person would have come with the approach of understanding where we are and let's work together. I got nothing against them. I don't even know them that personally. I've worked and helped them before. But here I am in this position. And I'm counting on God. I'm counting on my God. I'm counting on the impossible from my God. So that the plans that they are making to destroy will not succeed. Simply because of my faith and the life I have lived thus far, seeking to give back, to help others, to uplift, to be kind, to be compassionate, to understand. When you have lost all that ability and you're caught up in your vision that has no place for humanity, who have you become? And whose do you think you are? I'll end this with this. As I wish you an amazing weekend and week ahead, as I wish in my prayers for you that whatever you're going through, that you'll find the energy for one more prayer and the faith to look out for one more action from God. Believing and expecting is part of faith. Make sure you take care of yourselves and each other. It's important. Here I am in a struggle where someone else forgot their human, what do I want to say, mandate to be kind, compassionate, and take care of each other. Lord, I enter this day free from the buzz of anxiety and the desire to be in control of life and my destiny. You are in control. Free me today from my worries. worries about losing people and things, worries about how I appear in the world, worries that create distraction, preoccupations, misconceptions that I can't fully see and hear you clearly. Build up trust and faith in my spirit. Remove obstacles of agitation, impatience, and doubt, and grant me the grace to walk with you, believing in your promises and a great plan for my life. Intervene in my life this day, oh God, and every day, because I want to walk right with you. Until the next time, please take care of yourselves and remember to take care of each other.